to talk about my sorrow. My sorrow is a combination of unfortunate genetics, obvious, a lot of circumstance of bad breath and not having resources, not having money, not having a job, not having family abandonment, and I've just had more sorrow than a person could bear. Even right now making this video, my breath, I can smell it. Of course we say put gum in your mouth. Well, I can, but it's going to come back tomorrow and the next day and the next day. And you know, I'm just saying that's why I don't spend time with people, because who would want to live with a person who eventually has bad breath? So for me, it's just been sorrow all around. But of course, people have found joy. And joy is gum and certs and toothpaste and all these different things, which are fine scientifically. But when everyone doesn't have it, it's more of a luxury. See, I believe in we all have the same thing, so mentally we're passing away, and then no one had sorrow because we just passed through a bad experience. But it wasn't so bad because we passed through it. But when people plan to settle on a bad experience, most oftentimes they plan on being the bad experience that someone else is having. I say this because my sorrow has amounted to people trying to justify me being ugly, people trying to make me ugly, people trying to justify me being poor, people trying to make me homeless, people trying to justify me being stupid, people trying to keep me back from information, people trying to keep me back from economics, monetarily savvy situation, people trying to accuse me of not being a daughter wanted or a woman who's enjoyed by others. And overall, at the end of the day, I have sorrow constantly. I say this because my sorrow comes with a boatload of persecutions from so many people I do not know. Everybody on earth wants me to be the ugliest woman existing. Everybody wants to criticize me for orifices that are really giving. Everybody wants me to be locked away, throw away the key, and just be in misery. And I don't know anyone from Timbuktu, but everybody wants all of these things for just me, not you. They want me to be in sorrow constantly, and I don't know why. All of a sudden, I was born in 1979, and then everybody eventually gathers around me and say, bitch, I don't want you to have clear skin. Bitch, I don't want you to have long hair. Bitch, I don't want you to be fair. Bitch, I don't want you to dance on stage in stilettos. Bitch, I don't want you to have a life that's interesting you. I don't want you to have anything. I want you to be suffering. And I say, okay, fine, have it your way. But you know, I've discovered something. The weirdest thing I've discovered is, a long time ago, when I was in the hospital, in the maternity ward, someone severed the umbilical cord. I have a navel. We all have navels. Everybody on earth has a navel. And I said to myself, you know, it's strange because a navel comes from an umbilical cord severing. Our mother was on the maternity ward table, and the doctors clamped and cut the umbilical cord. And the reason they did it is because that was the only way for her to make a living after giving a child to the world. And I'm like, you know, that's strange, because if you clamp and cut the umbilical cord, because it was the only way, why don't you clamp and cut me from money? Why don't you clamp and cut me from poverty? All these things that are so unforgiving, and there was no way that I could make a living. You know, I couldn't live like this, as ugly as I am, flat-chested, hairy, no hair on my head, heavy makeup, an inferior nigger. You know, I could never make it in society. You know, nobody would ever respect me privately or personally or publicly. Why would you let me live in such ugly conditions? Why would you let me live as so unforgiving? I say this because everyone is responsible for disputing a thief taking your money. What is a thief taking your money? Someone thinking improperly. They take the money the right way. They spend the money the right way, but the only thing they did wrong was they took it from your home, and that was your belong. So they thought slightly wrong. Well, when you sever the umbilical cord, and then thereafter you connect me to other things that are just as deadly and disaster, in so many ways, you pretty much did wrong to me in all my days. Therefore, you're microscopically finding fault in me to justify the ugly genetics, the stupidity, and what you might call the poverty is null and void, because there's not one woman on this planet that could bear me having long, beautiful hair. There's not one woman on this planet that could bear me being physically fair. There's not one woman on this planet that could bear me having an hourglass figure with big voluptuous titties. There's not one woman on this planet that could bear me being absolutely gorgeous and pretty. There's not one woman on this planet that could bear me having possessions out of the Cahuza. There's not one woman on this planet that could bear me actually just being really phenomena. There's not one woman on this planet that could bear me living life well. And so when you severed the umbilical cord, you connected me to a living hell. And you can't sever one deadly connection logical common sense, and then offer another one as eternal ignorance. I say this human race because so many things have taken place in my life, and I look at it and I say, it's sorrow, but at the end of the day, everybody has a neighbor. And I know y'all don't care, because you're still going to arrest people for not paying bills and not being fair. You're going to arrest criminals and people that steal and kill. I know that you're going to arrest all those people, but I'm going to say this, and this is very real. You cannot sever a daily connection in the maternity ward and offer the sun in the sky as the only way to see, but not at night. And electricity that we pay for because you have to continue having an eye when it's most dangerous. You make me pay for that one. You cannot offer white people being a racist as a connection of life. You cannot offer the animal kingdom or weather, day or night. You cannot sever the umbilical cord and give me a navel because you scientifically couldn't see how you were able to do it any other way to have mothers and children on any given day, and then tell me I have to pay money for a life that no one would choose of pain, suffering, inferiority, and being misused. You don't get me. But this is just a touch of the surface. Hopefully I get better at this because it's worth it.